presentation of Fox Sports.
We are Baltimore. We are Wisconsin.
Another nice-looking night here in Milwaukee as the Brewers and the Arizona Diamondbacks get ready for the third game of this series. So far, so good for the Brew Crew. The Brats going per usual outside Miller Park. Another beautiful tailgating kind of early evening. Jimmy Nelson will be on the mound for the Brewers. He's pitched well of late. Take a look at those big numbers there. Had 7 shutout innings a week and a half ago at Cincinnati. Archie Bradley on the mound had some control issues at times, but he too has pitched a little better than the record would indicate. Good evening from Miller Park alongside Bill Schroeder. I'm Matt LePay filling in for Brian Anderson. BA back next week for the road trip beginning in San Diego. Telly Hughes is our reporter. Well, Rock, we see the pitching matchup. But a sore topic, I know, for the Brewers throughout the course of this season, their batting average with runners in scoring position, RISP. But it was a good stat for the Crew last night.
Yeah, the Brewers have not fared all that well throughout the season. Only a .238 batting average with men in scoring position. But that changed last night. 6 for 11 last night with men in scoring position. 5 of those hits, 5 of the 6 came with 2 outs. I mean, those are backbreakers for the opponent as 5 RBIs, and 5 of those hits are 5 different players with those 6 base hits. So that success was scattered up and down that batting order. I think if you're Craig Counsell, you got to be encouraged because, you know, as this young team starts to progress and evolve and get a little bit more comfortable in that batter's box, you hope you're going to see a lot more of that. No home runs. They hit the big home runs the night before. So hopefully good things to come for the Brewers with runners in scoring position.
Yeah, they have scored in a couple different ways, as Rock mentioned, in this series. And over the last 4 games, you see this is a team averaging nearly 7 runs per game, hitting better than 300 along the way. A couple of big innings, a 4-run 6th on Monday night, 5 in the 8th last night. We'll see if they can keep that going. See if Scooter can keep his hot bat going. When we continue, Telly Hughes will have more on the Brewers' second baseman. Had a 3 RBI night last night. Let's see what he'll give us tonight. Brewers and D-backs on Fox Sports Wisconsin.
on Fox Sports Wisconsin is brought to you by Menards. Save big money at Menards on all your home improvement needs. By your local Toyota dealers. Toyota, let's go places. And by Miller Lite, the original light Pilsner. Cheers, it's Miller time. After taking the first two, the Brew Crew will look to secure a series win over the Diamondbacks in Game 3 of this 4-game set. Last night, Scooter Gennett drove in 3 of the Brewers' 9 runs, and Scooter has hit safely in 5 straight games and 6 of the last 7. Over the last 3 games, Scooter is hitting .385, and that's including a home run with 6 runs batted in. Gennett has seen his success rate at the plate rise tremendously, and Brewers hitting coach Darnell Coles tells us the keys to Scooter's success.
Haven't had him in Double-A where he was pretty darn good hitter. We had to go back to some of his basic stuff that he's always worked on. So once we got there, I thought that the consistency of his swing started to show up during the game, but most importantly, he started to choke up with 2 strikes. So now he gives himself a better chance of putting the ball in play. It's a shorter, quicker swing, and he's doing a great job right now. I'm just trying to stay out of his way.
Coming up, can the Crew sliver past the Snakes for a 3rd consecutive night? Matt LePay and Rock will be back with the call between the Brewers and Diamondbacks after the break, next on Fox Sports Wisconsin.
One to center. On the ground, and Segura backhands and can only knock it down. Here's the 1-2. Back up the middle, and a base hit for Gennett. Here comes Perez. Here comes Braun. And the Brewers take the lead, courtesy of Scooter Gennett. Well, Scooter's having himself a series 4 for 8 these last 2 nights. Driving in 3 last night, a real difference maker in helping the Brewers take the first 2 of 4 in this series with the Arizona Diamondbacks. Brewers baseball on Fox Sports Wisconsin, presented by Potawatomi Hotel and Casinos. Spend the night with a luxury. Roof open again, just a partly cloudy sky. Looks like another great night for baseball as the Crew trying to make it 3 in a row, something they have not been able to do since the 3rd week of June, but trying to get there again here tonight with a victory. Let's take a look at the Diamondbacks batting order presented by Potawatomi. Michael Bourne at the top of the order. Phil Gosselin, Gene Segura. Segura hitting third again. Paul Goldschmidt hits fourth. Castillo and Tomas, followed by Owings, Drury, and Bradley. And that's the lineup that will face Jimmy Nelson.
Yeah, 21st start for Jimmy. 340 earned run average. You can see his numbers, 13 home runs allowed. He's having a pretty good month of July when you consider earned run average, but he's only 1-2 and a 263 earned run average in 4 July starts.
His first start after the All-Star break was just terrific as he starts Bourne with the strike, and getting right back at it is Jimmy Nelson. Go back to that start about a week and a half ago in Cincinnati. Nelson had 7 shutout innings against the Reds, giving up 6 hits. Bumpy in his last start against the Cubs over the weekend. But you're right, he has pitched well. He has 11 quality starts and looking for win number 7 here tonight.
Yeah, still trying to get deep into the game like he did early in the season. Pitch counts rise on him a little bit early in the game. That started Cincinnati a couple of starts ago. 7 innings and only 93 pitches. That's what he's trying to do here the rest of the way.
1-2 pitch to Michael Bourne, and an early chance for Scooter Gennett, and there's your first out of the night.
Well, check out the Menards Brewers defense. You got Kean Broxton back in center field, making back-to-back starts out there in center. Braun Neuenhuis on the corners. Perez, VR, Gennett, and Carter, and Jonathan Lucroy behind home plate.
Good to see Keon Broxton getting another chance. This is his 4th stint with the big club. In the lineup last night and back out there today. And man, did we see an example of his speed, part of that 5-run 8th inning the Brewers had last night. Just watching him fly around third, scoring from second on a base hit. And if you're running ahead of him, you better be busting it hard, because he'll be right on your back otherwise.
Yeah, it might be passing. You pass the baton to him, right? Yeah, he can run like a sprinter.
Serious wheels, and getting another chance in the Brewers lineup. Phil Gosselin with a ground ball to short, and the throw not in time. It looked like VR had a little trouble getting it out of his glove on the charge, and Gosselin is on with 1 out.
Yeah, getting down that line pretty quickly, and VR tried to be quick with the transfer, just lost a handle. Not sure how they're going to rule it. Right there, he loses it. If he doesn't do that, he gets the out. That's going to be another error on VR. He committed one last night. Last night was a throwing error. This is a bobble.
So VR charged with the error. And a 1-out base runner for Arizona. Now the former Brewer Gene Segura back in the 3rd spot in the lineup for the Diamondbacks. He has been hitting by far and away more often at the top of the order. In fact, all but 4 games this season he has been at the top of the order for Arizona. But Chip Hale shuffling the lineup here a little bit. They are without Jake Lamb in the lineup again tonight, nursing a sore hand. He was out last night, and Lamb not in the lineup again tonight. So Segura slides from the top of the order to the 3-hole. Goldschmidt hits cleanup, and Michael Bourne at the top of the lineup.
Yeah, big bat to be without if you're the Diamondbacks. Jake Lamb having a nice season.
A breakout year offensively for the Arizona 3rd baseman. Segura with a bouncing ball, and in the hole is VR. Tough throw, and it got away from Gennett. That'll be another error. And on his way to 3rd is Gosselin. On his way to 2nd is Segura. And now having trouble with it coming home is Gosselin with the first run of the night. Segura moves to 3rd, and the Brewers having a world of trouble defensively right out of the gate.
Yeah, that's 3 errors already in the 1st inning. That's going to be an error on Neuenhuis, allowing the run to score. And then VR's errant throw to 2nd base. Wow, how about a redo here? Boy, Jimmy Nelson deserves a lot better than this. I mean, he's pitched well. That's not even close. Neuenhuis backs it up, but then when he gets to it, he bobbles it right here, and that allows the run to score. Gosselin able to score. 3 errors already.
Yeah, you're right. You wish you could hit the reset button. Sloppy defense early on here for Milwaukee, and here is Paul Goldschmidt, cleanup hitter who is having himself a series. And we've mentioned going in, he has hit in his career better than 500 in this ballpark. And he is right at 500, 5 for 10 through the first 2 games of this 4-gamer. So a couple of early errors charged to Jonathan Villar, and then Kirk Nieuwenhuis. The miscue for Nieuwenhuis, his first of the season.
And 1-0, and a man at third base, and the Diamondbacks have not got a ball out of the infield.
Brewers right now just want to get an out. Runner at third. They're all back in the infield as Goldschmidt takes, and it's 2 balls, 1 strike. It was a little choppy early in Jimmy's last start defensively, and of course he was charged with an error early in that game against the Cubs last Friday. And now we'll see if the home team can settle back a little bit. Diamondbacks have been terrific at putting runs on the board in the first inning. You look at Goldschmidt and what he has done at Miller Park. So actually he's a touch under his average in his career at Miller Park, 5 for 10.
Yeah.
But you get the point.
He's pretty good everywhere he goes, in all honesty, but especially good here.
4-time All-Star each of the last 4 years for this Diamondbacks team, which comes in 41 and 59. It has been a bitterly disappointing year for Arizona.
Well, you can make the argument that given preseason expectations, the most disappointing team in the big leagues. There's a lot of reasons for it. Injuries, guys not able to get the job done, but nonetheless it's been a disappointing season for the Diamondbacks.
And so far the Brewers have been able to take advantage. A couple of big innings in each of the first 2 games of the series. 4 runs in the 6th on Monday night, a 5-run 8th last night against Chip Hale's team. As the pitching woes, that's been far and away the biggest issue with the D-backs here in 2016. A team that can hit pretty well, but they have had all kinds of trouble getting people out, both in the starting rotation and in the bullpen. And the Brewers got to that bullpen last night, taking advantage of some wildness from Arizona. As Goldschmidt, one of the best at drawing walks, he is on. It's the 70th walk he has drawn this season. Only Joey Votto and Bryce Harper have more.
Which makes it very important for the guy in that Diamondbacks batting order behind him is able to have a good year. That's what is so important in having Jake Lamb behind Goldschmidt, forcing the opposition to throw him strikes. Tonight it's Wellington Castillo.
Back behind the plate for the 2nd straight night. On Monday, Tuffy Gosewich had the call for Arizona. This is where Jimmy needs a ground ball. See if he can get his defense to turn 2. D-backs with runners at first and third and 1 out. A run on the board courtesy of 3 Brewers errors, and Castillo goes back up the middle, make it 2-0 Arizona. That'll be an RBI single for Castillo as Segura will score.
Yeah, jumping all over the first pitch right down the middle. Pretty straight fastball, and first hit of the inning for Arizona. Yeah, plates are on. You can see the fastball. It stayed up and pretty straight. And Wellington Castillo has been swinging the bat pretty well, able to hit it hard into center field. So 3 errors in the inning have cost the Brewers a couple of runs.
Diamondbacks scored 2 last night in the first inning after Matt Garza retired the first 2 hitters. Diamondbacks scored a couple, and the Brewers countered with 3 of their own in the bottom of the first inning. That game was tight throughout until the bottom of the 8th, when Milwaukee broke through in a big way. Here is Yasmani Tomas.
Yeah, missed a scoring decision. They gave Segura a base hit and then an error on the throw. I thought that was going to be a fielder's choice, but they gave him a hit. So the second hit for the Diamondbacks in the first inning.
Tim O'Driscoll, outstanding official scorer here at Miller Park. Gene Segura in his homecoming, getting a hit and coming around the score here in inning number 1. 0-1 pitch to Tomas requires a block from Lucroy, and very few, if any, do it better. And we'll get it out of the way now, as this is the week, of course, heading up to August 1st, the trade deadline. Obviously, Luke's name mentioned, but it's just right now a lot of social media, a lot of talk about it, but obviously still very much a Milwaukee Brewer as we move forward here tonight.
Man, that would be just fine by him.
1 ball, 1 strike to Yasmani Tomas, who has 15 homers on the year. He has driven in 37. This does get a piece, and he's down 1 ball, 2 strikes. All that speculation is going to continue, and obviously not just here, but all throughout the big leagues. As the deadline gets closer, and history tells us activity all across the game picks up.
Yep, every team talking about who is going to be traded and when and for who, and a lot of scouts in the ballpark here at Miller Park.
1 ball, 2 strikes. Saw Tony La Russa a moment ago helping run the baseball ops here at the Diamondbacks, and it's been a very tough year for Arizona, and La Russa's been pretty point blank about it, and some of the things that have been written and said in the media. Dave Stewart, the left of your screen, the GM. La Russa has not been pleased at calling the effort at times lackluster with this Arizona ball club. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Little chopper is foul. We said it last night about Arizona, as poor as the record is, there's no shortage of dangerous hitters, and Tomas can be one of them. Has a lot of power. We've talked a lot about Goldschmidt. Chip Hale does have some good bats in that lineup, even without Jake Lamb. Once again tonight, they're hoping that they don't have to put him on the disabled list, but for the 2nd straight night, Lamb out of the lineup. 2 balls, 2 strikes to the right fielder, Yasmani Tomas. And there's a drive hit back into left center field, and it is gone. A 3-run blast from Yasmani Tomas, and this first inning has turned into a nightmare inning for Milwaukee.
Yeah, just golf that one out of here, way back out there into left center. So, boy, very poor defense for the Brewers in this inning has cost Jimmy Nelson in a big way. A 5 spot in the top of the 1st on a 2-2 pitch. It was in, down a little bit, and look at Tomas able to golf it out of here. And a big crooked number for the Diamondbacks in the 1st inning.
Number 16 for Yasmani Tomas. And now 40 RBIs for the right fielder. 5-0 game. Still just 1 out in the 1st. Here's Chris Owings. Owings back in there in center field. He's playing center for the first time in his big league career. And injury to A.J. Pollock right before the regular season. And Owings, who normally is a middle infielder, he's moved to the outfield this season. There's a ground ball to Jonathan Villar, and there's out number 2. Two outs, bases empty in the 1st. One thing that helps you, though, following this Brewers team, and we showed you the graphic right before the 1st pitch. The Brewers have been putting runs on the board of nearly 7 a game here over the last 4.
Yeah, they're going to have to do that. Already down 5-0, and Jimmy Nelson certainly deserves better. It should have been a 3-up, 3-down inning.
3 errors in this 1st inning. Couple of them from Villar, who obviously gives you terrific plays. Oftentimes, Kirk Neuenhuis, his 1st error of the year. 2 errors on 1 play. Segura getting an infield single.
And normally Neuenhuis is out in center field. Doesn't normally have to deal with the wall by the stands, and ball bounced off the stands out there and kind of fumbled with it, and that's how he committed the error.
Little chopper to Hernan Perez, and that will finally do it in the 1st. But the Diamondbacks take advantage of some leaky defense, putting 5 on the board as the Brewers are coming up. On a home run from Yasmani Tomas. And now Craig Counsell will see his team hit for the first time tonight. 43-55, the Brewers record going into the game. Here's the Milwaukee batting order presented by Potawatomi. Jonathan Villar, Scooter Gennett, and Ryan Braun on the top three. Jonathan Lucroy with a .301 average hitting cleanup, followed by Chris Carter and Kirk Neuenhuis. Rounding out the order, Hernan Perez, Keon Broxton, and Jimmy Nelson. That's the batting order that will face the right-hander Archie Bradley.
Yeah, Archie Bradley, pretty good numbers, a .444 earned run average, 3-6, but the good numbers started about 7 starts ago. Last 7, a .338 earned run average, and he's thrown 6 or more innings 5 times in those 7 starts. And he's been very good with runners in scoring position, holding opponents to just a .130 batting average. So he's got pretty good stuff.
And he'll begin by facing Jonathan Villar. He has 3 hits in this series, including a home run on Monday night. He was one of 4 Brewers to go deep. You see the batting average, his on-base percentage at .377 coming into the game. Still the National League leader in stolen bases with 36. He goes into tonight's play 1 ahead of the Pirates' Starling Marte. Pirates playing the Mariners tonight and leading Seattle 3-0 in the 5th. The Pirates come to town on Friday to open up a series here in Milwaukee. These 2 teams, Brewers and D-backs, will wrap it up tomorrow afternoon. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Archie Bradley against Jonathan Villar. Curveball missing from Bradley. 3 first-inning errors for the Crew. Villar guilty of a couple of them. Let's see if the Brewers can provide a little bit of an answer here in the bottom of the 1st. Another curveball is fouled off.
Archie Bradley got a pretty straight fastball, low to mid-90s, but pretty straight. Every now and again he's going to pull a little bit or have a cut. He's got a really good overhand curveball. It's actually a spike curveball.
Villar going the other way, and it'll carry into the seats.
Problem for Bradley has been the base on balls, particularly as of late.
Yeah, his last start against the Reds, 5 innings, and he gave up 5 walks. He has had control issues over the last several starts. Again, a curve that misses. Last 57 innings, he's issued 30 walks. He's gotten himself into a lot of trouble. Reds got to him early last Friday. Not a great American ballpark. 3-2 pitch. Villar again goes opposite field, and going back is Bourne. He can't get it. It flies over his head, and Villar's on his way to second. Bourne got turned around a bit, and Villar is on to begin the bottom of the 1st.
Well, I completely misjudged that one. So the defense a little bit shoddy in this 1st inning for both teams. That's normally one that Michael Bourne's going to be able to track down. There's that straight fastball. Villar doing a good job going with it. And check out Bourne. He goes across, then realizes, uh-oh, I got to get back, and sails over his head. Just took a bad route.
So here we go. Settle back. Maybe in for a little slugfest here tonight. Who knows?
Well, Michael Bourne normally a pretty good outfielder. I mean, it takes good gets good jumps, takes good routes to baseballs, but not that time.
Yeah, he threw out Scooter Gennett last night trying to score on a single. Showed that arm a little bit. He's a 2-time Gold Glover, is Bourne. Here's Gennett. He's having himself a nice series. A couple of hits last night. 4 for 8 over the last 2. Trying to build a little hitting streak here. He has hit safely in each of the last 5 games. Brewers last night were very good with runners in scoring position. 6 for 11 in the game. It has been an issue throughout for Craig Counsell's team. Much talked about. So we talk about it when things turn the positive way, and it was a very positive stat last night for Counsell's team.
It's not often you score 9 runs with no extra base hits.
Yeah, the Brewers have gone about it in much different ways these first 2 nights. 4 homers on Monday.
Actually, 1 extra base hit. Neuenhuis had a pinch hit double.
That's right.
But everything else was a single You know, 5 of those 6 hits with runners in scoring position came with 2 outs in yesterday's game, which are really backbreakers for the pitcher you're facing.
Saw Chris Carter. He was involved in that last night. Driving in a run early. 3-0 pitch to Jeanette. Scooters on, so the first 2 Brewers reach in the bottom of the first. Mentioned the control can be a problem for Archie Bradley. Rookie status, he appeared in 8 games last year. It was 2-3. It was early in the season, and he had a real scare when he was hit by a batted ball. A quick trip to the mound as Wellington Castillo with a visit with his pitcher. But he was hit in the face by a line drive off the bat of Carlos Gonzalez. And at first he was trying to be brave about it. Even posted a photo of a very swollen face and said, "I'm good, I'll be back." And then he maybe came back a little too soon. He was facing the Florida Marlins, and I think he faced somebody like Giancarlo Stanton. When you talk exit velocity, he's normally at the very top of that list, and got into his head a little bit.
Yeah, you get a little bit flinchy after that stuff happens, right? You get hit in the face.
Understandable.
Yeah.
Here's Ryan Braun.
It's amazing how close that pitcher is by the time that baseball gets into the hitting zone. You know, it's 60 feet 6 inches from front of the plate to the pitching rubber, but by the time they get rid of it and they finish their follow through, you're talking what, about 50 feet?
Yeah. Well, I mean, you got you and BA and all of us who were watching saw it in the last road trip, the Brewers and the Pirates. Jamison Tyone right to the back of the head, and stunned everybody by staying in the game.
And pitch well.
No balls, 2 strikes to Ryan Braun. Brewers trying to get something going in the bottom of the first as they are in an early hole. 3 errors committed by the Brewers. The Diamondbacks with those runs, 5 of them on 3 hits. First run was unearned. The other 4 were earned runs. 0-2 pitch. Missing with a fastball is Bradley.
Yeah, it's been pretty much all fastball. Really hasn't been able to throw that curveball for strikes. Good situation for the Brewers hitters, particularly when you've got a guy out there that throws a fastball that's fairly straight.
3-6 record for Bradley. There's Ryan Braun, the 4th best batting average in the National League, and riding an 11-game hitting streak. Here's the 1-2. The fastball missed. An 11-game hitting streak, and it's been a very healthy, it's been a robust average, not just healthy but robust, hitting .410 in that stretch.
They're hitting a lot of baseballs right on the sweet spot. I mean, hitting the baseball hard most of the time to right field.
Ronnie 8 for 16 in this homestand as we begin the second half of it here tonight. Tonight and tomorrow with Arizona. Pirates in for 3 over the weekend. 2-2 pitch with the runners on the move. Braun goes the other way. Tomas coming in. He'll make the catch, and the retreat is on, and Jeanette is just able to get back. Both Jeanette and VR were running, and both had to race back, and Scooter got there, out number 1.
Tough break for Braun. He hit that one hard once again on the sweet spot, taking it to right field. Let's see, Bradley hurt himself.
Yeah, Chip Hale, I think,
I'll
wants
take
a
look
review.
at it. Okay, take a look at the play at first base. Everybody on the pitching mound. Normally these guys, you got to stay off the mound if they want to look at a review. Let's check it out.
And did he apply the tag? And it's kind of hard to tell in that angle.
Did he get the arm? That's the only thing he could have gotten if he's going to be out. This will be a better look at it. Does he get the arm, the trail arm from Jeanette? Yeah, he does. I think that's going to be reversed. Good piece of hitting by Ryan Braun, though, taking it like he normally does in the right field. A nice running catch by Tomas, and it looks like they might get themselves a double play.
Gary Cederstrom, left of you screen, number 38 there. He is the crew chief.
Headset not working?
Apparently not. Impact maintenance. Smack it a couple times. Now I'm good. It's close though. I'm with you though. I don't have a good feeling about this, but
This
it's
angle
taking a
right
while.
here, check it out. I mean, gets him right there, and clearly it looked like he was not on the bag quite yet. Not sure what's taking so long. Maybe we get lucky here. Maybe he'll call him safe. We've seen it before.
Find out whether we'll see it again. This is taking a little bit of time to look at it in New York. Jonathan Villar began this first inning with a double. Jeanette walked. Runners were going on a pitch to Braun, which he lined to right, and it's a double play. The call is overturned. So we race Jeanette. There are 2 men out. So it's 9-3. Tomas to Goldschmidt.
And
Doubled off Jeanette.
And nothing Scooter really could do about that. I mean, they're running on the pitch. And let's check it out. And Goldschmidt able to grab it. He gets the arm, the trail arm right there, and Scooter Jeanette does not have his foot on the bag.
That took 1:55, but Tomas to Goldschmidt. And catch Jeanette could not race back as he and Villar were running. So Villar the runner at second. 2 away for Jonathan Lucroy. Lucroy 1 for 3 last night. .301 batting average coming into the game. Played first base on Monday, but back catching tonight. Same story last night and tonight behind the plate.
And it really doesn't matter where he's playing, whether he's at first, behind home plate, designated hitter. He still finds a way to get hits.
And we'll see if he can deliver with 2 outs and a runner in scoring position, but he's behind 2 strikes and nothing. Well, a lot going on in this first inning, and it's been bad stuff here from the Milwaukee perspective. It's just inning number 1. The Brewers have been putting runs on the board against the Diamondbacks in the first 2 games of this series. Archie Bradley ready with the 0-2 pitch. Lucroy an even 50 RBIs coming into this game, 13 home runs. Wellington Castillo behind the plate, hanging the signs for his rookie pitcher Archie Bradley. And Villar's running. Pitch is taken and a throw to third, and Villar is cut down at third. Trying to steal with 2 outs. And a bad first inning has come to an end. Long way to go though. Let's see what happens.
Head to the second inning, and MLB TV Premium, the #1 live streaming sports service, delivers everything you've come to expect and more. Watch every At Market game live in HD on over 400 supported devices. Visit Brewers.com/TV, or I should say MLB.TV for details. I had it. It was a good one. I had a good one going.
It was all right.
Trying to keep up with the Joneses here.
You are too tough on yourself. It's all right. You fought through it. You know, life is not perfect.
No, but it was going so well until the MLB.TV. So what you can't do is.
Oh, there's nothing going right here for the Brewers here tonight. Bradley down the line and having trouble with it was Neuenhuis. Bradley on his way to second, and he is in. And that's how the second inning starts, with the opposing pitchers shooting one down the line.
Yeah, it looked like Bradley was satisfied with a single until I think Neuenhuis had some problems with it down in that corner. And once again, a guy that plays predominantly out there in center field doesn't have to worry about those corners or walls out there. Just kicks that one right there, and right there Bradley decides to head to second base and makes it safely. That could very well go down as another error. It looked as though Bradley was going to stay put at first until he saw that bobble.
Well, the Brewers committed 3 errors in the first inning. Here's Michael Bourne trying to bunt one down the line, but a foul ball. This is about as bad a start as you can have from the Milwaukee perspective.
Defense and on the bases. Looks like it's going to be a straight double for Bradley.
Oh, and 1 the count. Bourne, a wave and a miss. Bourne began this game innocently enough. A ground ball to Scooter Gennett. And then the first inning took a nasty turn for the Brewers. That's strike 3 called. And there's out number 1 here in inning number 2.
Their first strikeout for Jimmy Nelson, and he got it with a slider. There's that slider grip. Catching the outside corner, maybe getting a little bit of a call right there.
Take anything you can get right now if you're Jimmy Nelson. I think it's a good tester for him. 3 errors behind him here, and 5-0 deficit. Here is Phil Gosselin, and he started that mess in the first inning, reaching on an error. There's a bouncing ball foul over at third. He reached on an error. Segura had an infield single, and then there were actually 2 errors on the play. One on Villar, one on Kirk Neuenhuis. A walk, run scoring single from Castillo, and the big blow, a 3-run bomb from Yasmani Tomas. Time to settle down. 0-1 to Phil Gosselin, first baseman, or the second baseman rather. He's been swinging a good bat. 3 hits in the first 2 games of this series, and over the last 3+ weeks, Gosselin is hitting .323. That's over a 22-game stretch.
And making pretty good contact, using the whole field. Good addition, a table setter for Segura, Goldschmidt, Castillo.
Nelson with a 1-1. The Diamondbacks team that has played .500 ball away from home. They have a miserable home record. On the road, even though they've lost the first 2 here, they're a 50-50 team. They have ruled it was a hit and an error for Archie Bradley, so a single advancing on the Neuenhuis error. So the Brewers have committed 4 errors.
Yeah.
Already.
And that's the way I saw it. I mean, he, Bradley did stop until Neuenhuis bobbled it down the line. It took a while to post the error, but I think that's the right call.
A ball, 2 strikes with 1 out. That's strike 3 called. Back-to-back strikeouts, both looking from Nelson. 2 outs in the second.
Caught him looking for a curveball, and that was pretty much right down the middle. You know, he was looking for something else. Look where that ends up. I mean, center cut right down the middle.
Two outs with the pitcher Archie Bradley, the runner at second. Here's Gene Segura, and he just dropped his second hit of the night into right field. Neuenhuis charging but mishandles. Bradley will score. The throw to second is high, and Segura is in. It's 6-0.
Man, that's going to be another error. Goodness gracious. And Neuenhuis coming in. He was trying to get to the baseball quickly and make a throw in the home plate. He bobbles it. The error is going to be charged, allowing Segura to get to second base. Check it out. He's thinking about a throw. He bobbles it. He misses it. And Segura, because of that, is able to get into second. Even a good throw, he's going to be out. So 5 errors now for the Brewers in 2 innings.
And you see Kurt Neuenhuis, who's turned in some really good defense this season. We talked about it. Rock mentioning it. He's been playing center field predominantly. He's guilty of 3 of them here tonight. Here's Paul Goldschmidt.
And just a disaster for the Brewers defensively here.
For the record, it is a hit, an RBI for Segura, and error number 5 here for Milwaukee. Paul Goldschmidt with a runner in scoring position takes a look at his strike, and it's 0-2. A team that might be pressing more than a little bit now.
And now they're starting to think about it. At least Neuenhuis is.
Yeah. Goldschmidt hitting .295. He walked and scored in the first inning. On base percentage of .413 for the All-Star first baseman. Nelson trying to end things right now. Here's the 0-2. And he strikes out Goldschmidt. So 3 strikeouts in the inning, but unfortunately a couple of more errors leading to another run. 6-0 Arizona. Second inning here at Miller Park. Park. Great start for the D-backs, including Yasmani Tomas, a 3-run homer. Let's check out the Menards Arizona defense. Outside of Tomas, you have Chris Owings in center, Michael Bourne in left. Around the infield, Drury and Segura at third base and short, respectively. Phil Gosselin at second. The All-Star Paul Goldschmidt at first. Wellington Castillo behind the plate. Archie Bradley on the mound.
Got a 6-run cushion as he heads into the second inning.
5 Milwaukee errors already in this game. Here's Jonathan Lucroy. He was at the plate in the first when Jonathan Villar was caught trying to steal third. The Brewers had some promise in that first inning. A leadoff double from Villar, a walk to Jeanette.
A couple of outs on the bases. Really nothing Scooter Jeanette could do about getting doubled off of first base. They were running on the pitch, but certainly you just can't get thrown out at third with Lucroy standing there at the plate. That's a base running mistake.
And a mistake-filled game for the Brewers so far. A chopper to Gene Segura, and that's out number 1. Archie Bradley, Muskogee, Oklahoma. 23-year-old starter tonight for the Diamondbacks. Actually had a football scholarship opportunity with the Oklahoma Sooners. They recruited him to be a quarterback. Grew up a big Oklahoma football fan, but thought baseball was the better path.
You would think the safer path, but last year he got hit in the head with a line drive.
Exactly. That was, as the story goes with Bradley, that was the part of the rationale in pursuing baseball professionally, just less wear and tear. But he took that line drive from Carlos Gonzalez to the face and talked about the difficulty he had just trying to put that behind you as much as he can. He ended up developing some shoulder trouble, and it ended his season in June. He started 8 times last year. Chris Carter looks at a strike, and it's 1-2. Trying to get going. He had an RBI single last night, but still trying to get into that groove that we have seen Carter get into. And this is his first year with the Brewers. The 22 homers. This 2 for his last 21. He did have a run scoring single in last night's victory. There's the 2-2 pitch. Curve missing from Bradley. Payoff pitch coming. And Carter lifts a fly ball to right field, and barely having to move is Tomas. 2 men out. Well, part of the process here. Maybe Craig Counsell wants to see how Kirk Neuenhuis can move forward. 5 errors. He unfortunately has been guilty of 3 of them. We have watched him make a lot of highlight reel plays, but this has been a nightmare beginning for the Crew. And let's see what Neuenhuis does now. He continued his success at Miller Park last night. His splits, he's nearly 200 points better at home than on the road. .315 hitter here at Miller Park. Two outs with the bases empty. The breaking ball is chopped to Paul Goldschmidt, and it's a 1-2-3 inning for Archie Bradley, and we are through 2 with the Diamondbacks holding the big lead.
They trailed the Diamondbacks 6-0. The Brewers made a roster move today, and it was involving the bullpen as they sent Jacob Barnes to the 15-day disabled list. He's dealing with some right elbow soreness, and this is not something that just popped up. This is something he's been dealing with, but it just reached a point where they had to put him on a disabled list, and the Brewers recalled Michael Blazek from Colorado Springs, and he will join the fold of a bullpen that's been very successful so far this homestand, guys.
All right, Telly, thank you very much. Wellington Castillo leading off here for the Diamondbacks. Couple of changes here for the Brewers. Hernan Perez slides over from third to short, and Jake Elmore in the lineup now at third. So Villar's night is done. Craig Counsell just trying to get things settled. Villar guilty of a couple of errors and a base running mistake as he was caught trying to steal third with 2 outs. So
that might not be the reason. Maybe there's something going on.
Yeah,
true. With Jonathan, we'll see.
Good point.
If there is a injury update, we'll pass it along. If not, that might be what the situation is.
0-2 the count to Wellington Castillo. And that's strike 3 called. So Nelson getting punch outs his last 4 now that he is retired. 3 have been backwards Ks. 1 out in the third.
He's pitched well. I mean, in all honesty, he doesn't deserve to be down 6-0. And that's an understatement. Nothing really hit all that hard except for that home run by Tomas. You can see he's pounding the strike zone. 44 pitches, 35 of them for strikes.
We'll face Yasmani Tomas. Tomas, the 3-run homer in the first. And you see what he's doing. He is pumping it in there.
That's pretty good. That's impressive. And he's just got a lot of confidence in his stuff.
Tomas now has 16 homers. He has driven in 40. As Nelson continues to throw strikes. Six nothing lead. 5 Milwaukee errors through the first 2 innings. Four punch outs for Nelson early on. And those happen to be the last 4 he has retired, and he's ahead 2 strikes to nothing to Tomas. Telly mentioning with Michael Blazek coming back up, he was encouraging, had an encouraging trip down to Colorado Springs, 3 scoreless innings. You know how good Blazek was before he dealt with the elbow injury back in late May. Actually was on the disabled list beginning June 1st. How effective he has been for a good chunk of this season. Good to see him get back to that and keep things going in this Brewers bullpen, which much more often than not has been good this year. Was a big key on Monday night, throwing 4 shutout innings, and got the job done last night as well. And offense turned it loose in the 8th.
Been a pretty consistent group. Every now and again they have their problems, but that's the way it is as a bullpen. You know, Michael Blazek back. Kind of a surprise, the injury to Jacob Barnes. He pitched pretty well. I mean, finished the game a couple of days ago and looked good in doing it, and he landed on the disabled list today. Yeah, 1-2-3 9th inning, retired the top of the order, and Tomas' strikeout, and that's 5 now for Nelson. 2 outs in the 3rd. A good breaking pitch down, and Lucroy, as usual, blocking it. That's a curveball that time, and Tomas swings it one out of the zone. That's what he does. I mean, you can get him out. You get ahead, he will swing out of the strike zone, and he did that time.
2 outs, bases empty. Castillo and Tomas striking out here in the 3rd. Chris Owings at the plate. Owings a ground ball to short in the 1st. Fastball is in there. Be impressive work here if Nelson can stay dialed in. Very little, if anything, has gone right behind him so far tonight. Break-even pitch.
Good movement, 94 miles an hour. He's got some good movement going in on right-handers, and he's got that 2-seamer going in. He's got the slider, the curveball going away from him.
Ahead 1-2 to the center fielder Owings. Stays alive.
It's hard to believe that he would actually say down 6-0 in the 3rd inning that he's looked good tonight.
He really has.
Yeah, but he has.
Yeah. 5 errors this game. 3 in the 1st, couple of more in the 2nd. Big right-hander fighting through all of that. Ready to bring the 1-2 again to Owings. And that's going to cost him another strikeout. That's 6 of them now for Jimmy Nelson through 2 1/2. It is 6-0 Arizona.
Baseball brought to you by T-Mobile. We'll start off with the San Diego Padres, who tied a National League record set by the Braves in 1998 by hitting a home run in their 25th consecutive game. And Giancarlo Stanton, 2 for 5 with a home run and 2 RBIs. He now has 22 home runs on the season. And Jed Jerko last night versus the Mets hit a home run in both doubleheader games, the 2nd time in a week. Matt?
Telly, thank you very much. Move to the bottom of the 3rd here in Milwaukee. Work to do for the Brew Crew. First pitch swinging. Hernan Perez will lift a fly ball out toward Michael Bourne. And with 1 pitch, there is 1 out. Telly giving you the roundup. Cardinals leading the Mets 3-1 in the 7th inning. Cubs White Sox series now has moved to the north side. The White Sox won the first 2 at U.S. Cellular. They are scoreless tonight at Wrigley in the 4th inning. Pirates lead the Mariners 3-1 in the 7th at PNC. Pirates will be off tomorrow. Start a series here against the Crew on Friday night. There's Keon Broxton.
Yeah, the Cubs showing a little bit of weakness these days. They lost 2 in a row. They lost 5 of 10. Brewers should have taken at least 2 of those games here at Miller Park. Cardinals 6.5 games back.
Roxton behind 0-2. Yeah, the Cardinals with they've had their issues defensively. They've dealt with injuries, but they're hanging around, very much in the mix to get into the postseason.
Just got to get there, right?
Exactly.
You never know what can happen once you get in. It's the hottest team that ends up winning the World Series when you get to that point.
Here's how it looks in the National League Central. Cardinals a game and a half out in the wild card race. Strike 3 called to Keon Broxton. Quickly 2 men out here for the Brewers in the bottom of the 3rd. Hey Brewers fans, if you can't catch the games on TV, you can stream them live on your mobile device with the all-new Fox Sports Go app. Download the app, take Fox Sports Wisconsin and Brewers baseball with you wherever you go. Two men out, bases empty here in the 3rd for Jimmy Nelson. A healthy cut. You see his 3 RBIs. He had 2 of them in a terrific outing for him against the Reds a week and a half ago. Little butcher boy play. Shot one down the line and into right. Brought home a couple of runs. And he pitched 7 shutout innings.
Yeah. He bounced one over Votto's head with the bases loaded, and of course you didn't have to say it was a butcher boy. Just say he just hit a rope down the right field line.
It was a frozen rope.
Right.
He just smoked it. 1-2 pitch. Curveball that misses.
That's a good curve right there. The best one he's thrown.
23-year-old Oklahoma native. Let's check it out.
It's spike curveball. So 2 pitchers tonight that both throw the spike.
2-2. What I liked the most when Nelson hit that screamer down the right field line in Cincinnati. I mean, he goes back to the bag, just gave a little fist bump to Carlos Sabero, the first base coach. Said, yeah, I know. That's what I'm supposed to do.
Nothing to it. Yeah, don't get excited. Yeah. I'm going to do it again.
I'm gonna act like I've done it before. Maybe not a lot, but I've done it before. Choking up on the bat there, a 2-2 count. And that's strike 3 called. Back-to-back strikeouts for Archie Bradley, and we are 3-3. We're at Miller Park. Sports Wisconsin is brought to you by Hupy and Abraham. 1-800-800-5678. Hupy and Abraham. Tell them you mean business. They're hanging in there. Oh, there's a long way to go. Move to the 4th inning here at Miller Park. Diamondbacks a huge lead. 5 Brewers errors. Open lead to those 6 runs. Here's the CardSoup.com trivia question. Who are the 2 players in Brewers history to play more than 1,000 games at second base? 2 Brewer players ever to play more than 1,000 games at second.
Good one.
Jimmy Nelson on a night where nothing is going right behind him, but man, he's been good here this evening, especially the last couple of innings. All 6 outs via the strikeout.
Yeah, 3 swinging, 3 looking, and well, he's been working ahead all night. I think it's what only 1 batter that he hasn't started with strike 1. I think that's what it is. But when you're able to do that, you throw quality strikes early in the count. That makes sure it gives you a sense you don't have to throw strikes late in the count.
Keeps that trend going as he starts Brandon Drury with a strike.
You just got to tip your hat. I mean, all the things that have gone wrong behind him in the infield and the outfield, he still stays focused and throwing a pretty good game here. There's that curveball.
And once again, Nelson with the jump in the count. 2 strikes and nothing. Eight, 9, and 1 in the order for Arizona in the 4th inning. Drury, Bradley, and Michael Bourne. Drury ended that 1st inning with a ground ball to 3rd. 5-run first and another run in the 2nd for the Diamondbacks. Here comes the 1-2. Drury hitting .262. He's played a lot of corner outfield for Arizona this season. More natural third baseman, and that's where he has been now the last 2 ball games. Again, the 1-2. Little chopper over the mound, and Jeanette will not have a play. So an infield single here to begin inning number 4.
Yeah, once that ball got over the head of Jimmy Nelson, I mean, nobody really had a shot at it. Drury a decent speed down the line, and Jimmy Nelson really only had a shot to get the out. Once it goes over his head, no way. I mean, Scooter, even if he bare hands it, not going to be able to get off with a strong enough throw to get the out.
Here's Archie Bradley. He singled down the right field line, advanced on an error. And showing bunt there. One attempt is popped up and out of play. And the Brewers have made a defensive adjustment, personnel adjustment here in the last couple of innings. Jake Elmore is over at 3rd. Hernan Perez, who started at 3rd, is now at short. There's Elmore. Coming in hard down that 3rd base line as Bradley will square away again. 1-1 pitch.
Doesn't have his heart into it, does he?
Nope.
I mean, Jimmy throwing those pitches, fastballs up. That one up and in, and Bradley just trying to do the best he can.
Bradley's first 2 major league starts last year came against Clayton Kershaw and Madison Bumgarner. He actually beat Kershaw, would have beaten Bumgarner, but there was a blown save. It's a heck of a way to start your big league career. Before the season ended prematurely with the injuries, plural, hit by a line drive, and then later in the year developing some shoulder trouble.
Yeah, it gets easier after those two guys, doesn't it?
Yeah, it does. Still wants to try to bunt. He pops this one up, and that's easy for Chris Carter, and that's out number 1.
Really never looked all that comfortable trying to drop down that bunt. He looked a lot better swinging the bat.
First out of the inning with Brandon Drury, the runner at first. Now Nelson will look at the top of the order again. And Michael Bourne. 6 runs, 6 hits for Arizona. Bourne a ground ball to second and took a called third strike in the second. One after the first pitch. And why not? Nelson's throwing strikes.
Yeah, what's the sense in taking him, right? Just about every batter tonight he's been able to throw a first pitch strike, and more times than not it's a fastball. 17 of 19.
There's a ground ball off the glove of Carter, and Jeanette is there, and the throw not in time. Tough play. Carter not able to secure it. And that'll be an infield single.
Just one of those nights for Jimmy Nelson. I mean, 2 infield hits and that high chopper over his head, and this time holding the runner on. Chris Carter not able to keep it in his glove, and then Scooter Jeanette hesitates a little bit. I don't think it would have mattered anyway because Jimmy a little bit late getting over there.
Well, the Diamondbacks with runners at first and second.
Sometimes you have nights like that, right?
You do. I mean, they're nothing going right.
Outs have been awfully difficult to come by unless he strikes them out.
2 infield singles, one from Drury, one from Bourne, and that's how Arizona has runners at first and second for Phil Gosselin. He struck out looking, going after the first pitch, a liner to Neuenhuis. He'll squeeze it. Out number 2, tagging is Drury, and he'll move to third. Runners at the corners with 2 out. Run of strikeouts ends for Nelson. Punched out 3 in the second, struck out the side in the third. Pop up on a bunt attempt from Archie Bradley, and then a liner to right off the bat of Phil Gosselin. Here's Gene Segura. He has a couple of hits here in this game. Another multi-hit game for Segura. He has 37 of them this season. Only Daniel Murphy has more, and Murphy had a couple of hits tonight for the Washington Nationals. He has 41 multi-hit games. A heck of a year for Segura, his first as a Diamondback.
It kind of reminds you of his first year with the Brewers.
Especially that first half of the year, right?
And that's where we're at right now, first half, and he's been swinging the bat pretty well in the second half too.
9-game hitting streak for Segura. And there at shortstop. Playing a lot of second for the D-backs this season. Yeah, you go back to 2013, the first half as a Brewer of that year, Segura hit 325. Did tail off in the second half, but it was just lights out good, an all-star quality year in 2013 for Segura. It's originally signed by the Angels back in 07, was part of the Zach Greinke trade. Certainly provided some good moments in his time in Milwaukee, some flashy play.
Yeah, good base running. He can come around, he can swing the bat. Good opposite field hitter.
Bourne is going, and Segura spins himself into the dirt. Foul ball. Little Carlos Gomez swing right there.
Crazy looking play right there. A 2-0 count. Pitch almost hit him. I'm not sure why he Yeah, when after look at that swing, I mean, he just twists himself around, spins himself into the ground, and Segura trying to knock one out of the ballpark. That wasn't even close to a strike.
No. So instead of ball 3, it's a 2-1 count. Brandon Drury, the runner at third. Michael Bourne at first. Here's the 2-1. Breaking ball in there to even the count. A .317 average now for Gene Segura. And that infield single in the first, and advanced on not 1 but 2 errors from the play. 1 to VR, 1 to Neuenhuis. Singled, advanced on an error in the second. It was an RBI single down the right field line, mishandled by Neuenhuis. He advanced to second on the E9, but was left stranded there. Two-two pitch coming. Bourne's running. And another foul ball. Bourne led the league in stolen bases a few years back in 09, 2010. Same deal in 2011.
Well, he looked like he was going to have a very good long career when he started out with Houston. The way he could cover ground out there at Minute Maid Park. Big outfield. He could steal bases. He's had a tough time finding that consistency.
And twice in his career he stole 61 bases. A 52 bag year as well, and each of those led the league 3 straight years, 09, 10, and 11. Segura with a bouncing ball to Scooter Gennett, and that'll do it for the Diamondbacks here in the 4th. So Nelson battling through it. It's 6-0 Arizona.
Diamondbacks with a 6-0 lead, and a reminder the Friday nights are student nights at Miller Park. This Friday against the Pirates, all high school and college students can get tickets for just $10. Plus enjoy a special $3 menu through the end of the first inning. Visit brewers.com/students.
Here is Jake Elmore. Leading off the bottom of the 4th. Certainly the game here tonight at third. As Hernan Perez moved from third to short, and VR came out of the game. So an opportunity here for the 29-year-old former Arizona State Sun Devil, and one-time Arizona Diamondback. Elmore, a nice night last night. We talked about runners in scoring position and getting things done. Well, Elmore did that. 2-run single in the first inning. Part of a 2-for-3 night for Jake Elmore with a couple of RBIs as a Brewer. All part of a 3-run first in a what turned out to a Milwaukee victory, as Elmore draws a walk here to lead off the fourth.
Yeah, and he's shown to have a pretty good eye at the plate too. On base percentage over 400 for Jake Elmore. Kind of a veteran guy. I mean, he's been in the big leagues each of the last 5 years. Of course, he's been doing it with 5 different teams, so he's bounced around, but he's found his way into the major leagues.
Yeah, kind of a baseball survivor. It's let go, picked up by someone else, let go, picked up, and here he is trying to help the Brewers. Lead off walk, and that'll bring up Scooter Gennett. Time for tonight's home field advantage, brought to you by Lowe's. Here's what Scooter's done on the homestand. He's turned in some real good work at the plate. Homered on Monday night, 6 RBIs, part of that 7 for 21. Scooter drew a walk in the first inning. Brewers had the first 2 reach in the first, but then everything turned the wrong way. We're retired in order in innings 2 and 3, and then Elmore starts the fourth with a walk.
Just a lot more comfortable up the plate right now. I mean, Craig Counsell has him in there every day, left-handers, right-handers, and I think it's done him well. That confidence, knowing he's going to play every day, he seems much more relaxed up at the plate.
5-game hitting streak for Gennett as he takes a curve for strike 1. Average up to 264 now for Gennett. 9 homers, 33 RBIs. The 9 homers tying a career high. Set that a couple of years ago. Breaking ball, and that's a fair ball. Goldschmidt gets the out at first and then throws it away. It gets by Segura. Elmore on his way to third, and he is in there standing. So an error for the other guys now.
Yeah, it turned into a tag play once Goldschmidt tagged first base. Retiring Gennett, and just didn't really have a real opportunity to get that second out. And spikes it into the ground. Segura not able to handle it. Segura dealing with a lot right there. Runner sliding into him. The ball's bouncing in front of him. I think Goldschmidt footwork kind of messed up too. And that'll be an A3, a rare error for Paul Goldschmidt. You don't see that very often.
Oh, Gold Glover over there at first. 4th error of the year for Goldschmidt, and the first of the night for the Diamondbacks. Here's Ryan Braun. Elmore the runner at third. Braun hit the ball hard his first time with runners at first and second. The runners were on the move, but Braun lined right to Yasmani Tomas, who was able to double off Scooter Gennett. Trying to get back to first. Originally, Scooter was ruled safe, but upon the replay review, it was overturned. Oh, 1 pitch. Shoots one foul down the line. Check out the Powerball home run leaderboard. Ryan Braun standing second going into the game. Chris Carter holding at 22. Brawny with 14. Lucroy 1 behind Ryan, and Scooter Gennett's that Monday night homer gives him 9 on the year. Archie Bradley with the 0-2, and Braun waves at it and does not get it. That's out number 2.
Yeah, pretty good fastball, something on it, 93 off the corner. Not often Ryan Braun doesn't get the job done with a man at third, less than 2 outs, but Bradley gets a strikeout, his third.
Year-old from Oklahoma, 7th overall pick, first-round draft pick 5 years ago by the Diamondbacks. One of their top prospects going into the year, according to multiple publications. Lucroy grounded to short to begin the second inning. Trying to pick up Jake Elmore here. Elmore began the inning with a walk. Standing over at third with 2 men out.
And Luke upset with himself right there. He got a curve ball that was up in his zone. Pretty good pitch to hit. He fouled it off. He doesn't show a whole lot of emotion. It's basically the eye roll every now and again when he feels as though he missed a good pitch to hit.
See if he can get another one. He does to center field. Owings sliding, and he makes the catch. Chris Owings out in center. Lucroy hit it right on the button. But he is not rewarded because Chris Owings comes in and takes one away from the Brewers catcher. Still 6-0.
Time to check in with the crew in the community. Brewers Community Foundation will host its annual 5K Famous Racing Sausages Run Walk this Saturday. Participants will enjoy a one-of-a-kind run with the sausages around and through Miller Park, with all proceeds supporting Fisher House, Wisconsin's mission to provide a home away from home for active military and veteran families. Registration closes at midnight. Sign up at brewers.com/BCF.
All right, thanks, Telly. Top of the fifth we go. 4, 5, and 6 hitters in the order for Arizona. That means Paul Goldschmidt will lead things off. In addition to that walk, he struck out in the second inning. One of 6 strikeout victims for Jimmy Nelson. And again, he continues to just pound the strike zone. He's up 2 strikes and nothing on Goldschmidt. Scoot him back. There's VR, who was pulled from the game in the third. That's a smart baseball guy talking to him right there, and Craig Counsell.
Yeah, it doesn't look like an injury situation. I think more of a opportunity to get with him during the game, sit in the dugout or stand there and maybe talk a little strategy, maybe some concentration, when to run, when not to run, those types of things. A learning opportunity for Jonathan VR. But it's up to him to accept that in the way that it's offered by Craig Counsell, to help him, not to really scold him.
Goldschmidt with the chopper. Elmore on the charge. Bare hand pick, and the throw. He got him. Oh, a nice play over at third by Jake Elmore for out number 1.
Yeah, that was a nice play. Almost another infield hit for the Diamondbacks, but taken away by Elmore. Another chopper. Again, Jimmy Nelson really throwing a good game. Don't look at his score. It's not his fault, pretty much. And Jake Elmore making a nice play, coming in bare hand, getting himself in position, and making a good strong throw to first. Good pick by Chris Carter.
Yes, sir. Good work. Nice play by Elmore over at third. Here is Wellington Castillo. Diamondbacks have those 6 runs on 7 hits. But what? 3 of them are infield hits. And Tomas hit the 3-run bomb. And you're right. It's not like they are barreling up much otherwise against Jimmy Nelson. In fact, they're not at all. But they have a 6-run lead.
Yep. Takes all facets of the game to be able to win. And the defense has let Jimmy down the first couple innings.
Pick up your point here as we watch Counsell and VR just having a conversation, probably a teaching point here. I mean, Craig Counsell likes this guy, and there's a lot of reason to like him a lot. He can make terrific plays at short, has a really strong arm as Castillo draws a walk. And he's been asked from time to time in the pregame media sessions, the Brewers manager, about VR and the base running. And Rocky mentioned it again here in this series that Counsell talks about base stealers as risk takers. And there are times where Craig has said, look, it's a mistake. You're trying to steal third with 2 outs, and you want, or whatever the occasion, you make a base running miscue. But he wants him to push it because he knows how talented he is. But it's still a matter of, and it's probably something that experience can teach you over time. That caught stealing stat starts to lower. Counsell mentioned that during the series in Cincinnati right after the All-Star break. Brought up specific examples like a Billy Hamilton, like a Starling Marte. Those were guys who got caught a lot. And then as time went on, they became maybe a little wiser how to read pitches, when to go, when not to. The number's gone down. Looking for the same in time with VR.
It's a fine line to just let a guy work through that on his own, but then after a while you get to a point where, look, I gotta make a point to this player. I mean, he's going to be a good player. He just needs to get it a little bit quicker than he is. And there was a point in time in the season where Jonathan was really more patient and not really making those base running mistakes. And all of a sudden, I think in the second half of the season, he's starting to really push the envelope with the stolen bases. And there's one thing, it's one thing to get caught stealing second base, with Scooter at the plate, but it's another to try and steal third base with, Braun and Lucroy, Carter coming up. I mean, these guys, they can drive you in one swing of the bat and knock the ball out of the ballpark. So you got to be careful when you try to be aggressive.
Here's Tomas with a fly ball back in a deep right field, and Neuenhuis can only watch. And for the second time tonight, Yasmani Tomas has homered. This is a 2-run opposite field shot, and it's 8-0.
Just proving that he has power to all fields. That ball right, at right field, and second home run. He's got 5 RBIs tonight. That was a slider that stayed up in the zone. He waited back nicely on it and drove it out of here to right. And 8 runs on the board against Jimmy tonight.
Chris Owings.
Getting back to VR and Craig Counsell, I think Craig Counsell taking the opportunity to really make a statement to his young shortstop, saying, look, I've let you make these mistakes on your own. I'm going to let you work through it. At some point, I know you're going to get it, but there comes a point in time for a manager where he's got to show a player that he's just not going to accept that anymore.
Yeah.
And there's nothing wrong, nothing in this world wrong with a manager saying to him, you're going to sit, you're going to watch, And he might even sit tomorrow. Who knows? I don't know what the conversation is, but it's all about trying to get him to understand game situations, when to be aggressive, when not to be aggressive.
It'll be interesting to watch moving forward, because this is a very, very talented young player. He's been a really good story for this team, but a little lesson learned hopefully tonight, and
just trying to make him better. That's all.
That's right.
But now it's up to Jonathan Villar to accept that in the right way, and not take it personally. Not feel as though he's been slighted. It's just an opportunity for counsel to make a point to him. He's got to move on and learn from it.
2 balls, 2 strikes. I don't know what it means, but I'm encouraged just seeing him at the top step of the dugout looking out. He's not sitting over in a corner, or he's up the top step over the rail there watching the game. Does that mean something? I don't know.
Absolutely it does. I think he understands what it's all about. I think he understands what the point his manager's trying to make to him, and I think he's going to accept it nicely.
At his best, he is a lot of fun to watch.
Yes, he is. He brings a lot of energy to the ballpark every single day. He gives it 100%. But sometimes that's not enough at the big league level.
Owings a swing and a miss. Lucroy will complete it, and that's out number 2. Jimmy Nelson with 7 strikeouts now tonight. Mentioned the errors. He's given up a couple of home runs to Yasmani Tomas, a 3-run shot in the first and a 2-run blast here in the 5th. Here's Brandon Drury. Two outs, bases empty. The Diamondbacks have scored 2 runs here in the 5th, courtesy of the Tomas homer. Drury, an infield hit his last time. He grounded to third in the first. Fouls that one off his foot. Teams will wrap up the series tomorrow afternoon at Miller Park. Little day baseball here. Hope to see you out. Part of this 10-game homestand, which will conclude over the weekend against the Pirates. Here's the 0-2. Held up, said the first base umpire Chad Whitson. And now the 1-2 pitch. Tries a fastball and missed. Trying to grind through it here, Jimmy Nelson. Craig Counsell and Derek Johnson, the pitching coach, they have talked a lot about that great work ethic and business nature of Nelson. Trying to fight through on a night where nothing is going right. And much of it out of his control. Not all of it, but much of it.
Well, the 2 home runs are in his control, but all the other stuff not so much. The infield hits, the errors. Yasmani Tomas, he's on a home run binge right now.
Payoff pitch. We'll do it again.
And one last thing on Villar. I mean, that sends a message not only to Jonathan, but the rest of the team. I mean, understanding this is a learning process, a season where they're trying to figure out what they have going forward. And, you know, what Craig Counsell's saying here is that, look, if you're going to be making mental mistakes, then you might be pulled out of a game as well. And it's not the physical errors. It's not the errors, the throwing errors, the errors that he made at shortstop. It's, you know, the mental mistakes that are being made. It just can't happen.
Drury drops a single into right, so the inning extends here for Arizona. Oh, that's a great point. That's, you know, that we see the conversation with VR, but
It's a ripple effect through the clubhouse, saying, "Hey, you know what? I respect my manager. You know, he wants to win. He wants the game to be played right." And for the most part, that young man does play the game right.
Yes, he does.
Plays the game with a lot of heart, but sometimes he just makes, aggressive mistakes that aren't necessary.
Have a pitching change at Miller Park. The night ends for Jimmy Nelson. 8-0 to score as Greg Counsell will go to the bullpen here in inning number 5. Wisconsin is brought to you by Miller Lights, the original light Pilsner. Cheers, it's Miller time. 8-0 Arizona leading the Brewers here in the 5th inning. Jimmy Nelson's night comes to an end after 4 2/3. 5 errors behind him in this game, but he served up 2 home run balls to Yasmani Tomas, 3 and 2-run shots, and now Nelson gives way to Yan Marinez here in the 5th to try to get through the rest of this inning.
Yeah, pistol money against these Diamondbacks. A scoreless inning, couple of walks and 3 strikeouts for Marinez. Done a nice job this year so far.
Yeah, when called upon, it has the workload has been erratic. He'll go gaps without being called upon, but he has been quietly effective as he sails one over the head of Archie Bradley, and that'll go all the way to the backstop. That didn't work out. I'm praising the guy, and then this happens.
Yeah, just missed the top of the helmet of the Diamondbacks pitcher. I'm not sure where the pitch was, but it didn't end up very good.
So a wild one sends Drury to second, and a 1-1 count to Bradley. Bradley singled, advanced on an error, and then popped up trying to bunt. One-time Oklahoma Sooners football prospect.
Yeah, 6'4", 225. That's a pretty good size for a quarterback, isn't it?
Yeah, it is.
Take a few shots.
A swing and a miss, and Marinez will end the inning with a strikeout of Archie Bradley. A couple of more runs, though. A 2-run bomb from Tomas. 8-0 Arizona.
Fame Tour, and it will be here through July 31st, and you get a chance to come out and check out some of these cool artifacts like the hat Nolan Ryan wore when he pitched his 5th career no-hitter, or the glove Willie Mays used in Game 1 of the 1954 World Series to make the catch. Once again, time is running out. You can get tickets at hallofametour.com, and it'll be here until July 31st.
That is great. And check out, the size of that glove, or the lack of size of that glove.
How about all the padding in it? I mean, the little finger in the glove. I mean, do you need that much padding? I mean, that's the way they were back then, though.
Yeah, they
right?
were. They were. One of the great catches of all time.
With that glove.
With that glove. There it is. That's the glove that robbed Vic Wertz.
Isn't that something? Awesome. Just one of the many great artifacts and things that you can see from baseball history. They got the bat that Roger Maris used to hit number 61, broke Babe Ruth's record.
A great exhibit. Hope you get a chance to check it out. You come to the ballpark. Chris Carter leading off here in the 5th inning. And a strikeout for Archie Bradley. He's looked pretty impressive here tonight. And talked about what's gone wrong for the Brewers. Bradley's been pretty good here for the Diamondbacks.
I mean, he doesn't give up a lot of hits. I mean, coming in 75 innings, 71 hits. But when you add in all the walks, that's a lot of base runners. But, when he gets guys on, typically throughout the year, he really hasn't given up a whole lot of runs. I mean, runners in scoring position average, very good. A 130 batting average, and the Brewers right now today, runners in scoring position 0 for 3.
Yeah, just the one hit for Milwaukee, and that was VR, who led off the bottom of the 1st, a double. There's Kirk Neuenhuis. Always fascinating when you study the history of the game, and we saw the glove there, and there was a time, I'm trying to remember when it stopped, back maybe just past the turn of the century, or maybe even early 20s, where fielders at the end of the inning, they left their glove out there.
Yeah, just flipped it up, and grass at shortstop. And
right.
Yep. Makes sense. You don't have to run in, run out with it.
Yeah. Less baggage heading to the dugout or coming back out.
I believe those are also the days when a pitcher maybe threw one in the dirt, just barely, that they actually still used it.
That's right.
They throw these balls out now. Anytime it hits the ground, it's you can't use it. It's tainted.
2-2 pitch to Neuenhuis. Well, you always see too the photos of Ty Cobb. Of course, now we're in the era with the takeout slides and all of that. But you see those old photos of Ty Cobb with those spikes up, right, nice and sharp. A real history lesson, a fun history lesson of the game at that Hall of Fame tour here.
Yeah, I didn't see too many headfirst slides back then.
No.
For a lot of different reasons, and the most being that the uniforms they wore really weren't conducive to headfirst slide. A little more baggy, that heavy wool.
Very heavy.
I mean, you go head first, into second base with those on, you just stick like a lawn dart.
Think of those on what it was like here on Sunday.
Yeah, they're not real aerodynamic.
Era of day baseball as well. That sun pounding on you.
And they also, back in those days, liked to inflict pain, as you talked about, with Ty Cobb. Infielders, too, when they're making tags. I mean, they would slap it hard on you.
Oh, yeah. Neuenhuis hanging in there. A full count to him. Again, the 3-2, and Neuenhuis goes down swinging. Archie Bradley continues to impress. 2 outs here in the 5th.
Hey, tonight's time of the game is the Mousetrap in Eau Claire. If they call the Brewers in the next 24 hours, or actually 8 a.m. tomorrow, they get 40 tickets to a Friday night game in the Miller Lite Beer Pen. It's offer courtesy of the Tavern League of Wisconsin. And Miller Lite, want to send a shout out to my buddy Jim Wright from the Miller Brewing Company.
Outstanding. I got to say, that shot of the Miller Lite out there, that really looks good. 0-1 to Hernan Perez. Started the game at third. He's moved over to short. And tonight, the game dictating the move, but Perez getting a lot of looks now at third with the injury to Will Middlebrooks.
But does have the ability to be able to cover shortstop.
Yeah, very, very versatile. And of course, we have seen him in right field this season.
Every team has a player or two that can play just about anywhere in a pinch. In this era of an 8-man bullpen, just about every team uses it.
Perez sounded like a broken bat. That's going to fall in there, a base hit. Second hit of the night for the Brewers, and the first since Villar led off the bottom of the first with a double.
And that was a misjudged fly ball in the first inning. That's the approach that gives Hernan Perez the base hit here. If he tries to pull this baseball, probably a swing and a miss. Able to take that one into right field, waiting back. Watch where he makes contact right off that front foot and dumps it into right field.
Hernan Perez 1 for 2, and here is Keon Broxton. Took a called third strike in inning number 3.
He's got that curveball working now.
He really does.
Early in the game, really didn't have it. Got by with basically the fastball, but that curveball is now becoming a really good pitch.
The 0-1. Back to some heat, but missed. He had a 10 strikeout game against the Cubs, did Bradley. There's a couple of strikeouts here in this 5th inning. He's given up just the 2 hits. The 1-1. Blocked by Castillo. Second straight start for Keon Broxton. Out in center. His 31st game as a Brewer. That's it in the air to right field. Yasmani Tomas going back and near the wall will make the catch, and that'll do it for the Brewers. So Broxton gave it a ride, but it falls short. Still 8-0 Arizona. Park. This night started badly for the Brewers, and it hasn't gotten any better. 8-0 Arizona. Carsoup.com trivia question. Who are the two players in Brewers history to play more than 1,000 games at second base? There you go, Gumby, along with Ricky Weeks. Gantner and Ricky Weeks.
You had that, didn't you, those two?
Oh, yeah.
That's a layup right
there.
Easy.
That was a grooved pitch of a question tonight. Weeks not in the lineup tonight. He's an outfielder now, though, when he plays for Arizona. Michael Bourne leading things off. Jan Marinez stays in there for the Brewers. He finished up for Nelson in the 5th, and there's a ground ball to Aaron Perez. Got to hurry, and the throw is in time for out number 1.
Yeah, don't have as much time over at shortstop as you do at third. Michael Bourne scoots down that line. They maybe get away with one crow hop, not a couple. That's a little bit too many, and Michael Bourne hustling down the line. They get him by half a step.
One out for Phil Gosselin. He got it started for Arizona in the first inning, reaching on an error. 1 of 3 committed by the Brewers in the first inning. It's a 5-run inning, but 4 were earned runs, and the biggest blow, with all the errors aside, the 3-run homer from Yasmani Tomas. The Brewers were throwing the ball all over Miller Park in the first inning and committed 2 more miscues in the second. A 5-error night for Milwaukee. Marinez with the 1-1. Pouring it in there at 96. Gosselin 0 for 3. His average at 271 now. Bouncing ball to Elmore. And there are 2 men out.
Marinez continues to throw the baseball well, getting good outs. Kind of in a tough spot. You know, normally when he comes in middle relief and has done a very nice job throwing strikes. When he first was acquired by the Brewers, they weren't sure he was going to be able to throw enough strikes to stay in the big leagues. Well, he's certainly been able to do that. Got a terrific arm, but always had a lot of walks. Not so much with the Brewers here.
Got him from the Rays on May 12th. Facing Gene Segura. Former Brewer with a couple of hits tonight. Only Daniel Murphy has more hits in the National League than Segura.
Yeah, 126 hits for Segura. Good for him. Having a nice time of it in Arizona. Remember the spring training he had down in Arizona? I think he hit over 500 during spring training.
Hard hit right at Perez. Up and down go the Diamondbacks in the 6th. 3 ground balls. Good work by Marinez. Brewers coming up, bottom of inning number 6. 6th inning here at Miller Park. Hey, own the future for just $69 per month with a Milwaukee Bucks 414 Super Pass. Guarantee a seat to see every game of the upcoming season, including matchups against the world champion Cavaliers as well as the Golden State Warriors for just $414. For more details, visit foxsportswisconsin.com. Upcoming events. Fun to watch that Bucks team again, building things up over there, literally and figuratively, here in Milwaukee. Building going on. Jan Marinez will go ahead and swing away here to lead off the 6th inning. Turned in some pretty good work on the mound in relief of Jimmy Nelson. Archie Bradley back out there for Arizona, but Marinez getting a rare at bat.
Oh for 1 this year. So he does have an at bat.
That's right. Rare as it is, and a strikeout here to begin the 6th.
Well, you mentioned that Bradley has been able to eat up innings pretty consistently. Last 7 starts, he's been able to go 6 or more innings 5 times. That's exactly what the Diamondbacks need. They've had some short starts this year. Nate Corbin went 5+ yesterday, the left-hander. Shipley 5 in the 3rd.
Yeah, Braden Shipley on Monday made his major league debut and actually pitched pretty well. In hindsight, he's out there a hitter too long. The big 3-run homer off the bat of Maldonado. Elmore at the plate, a ground ball to Segura, 2 up and 2 down. But Bradley, a rookie by status, he appeared in 8 games last year, so a couple of younger arms showing pretty well here for Arizona. From the Brewer perspective, it's obviously been a lousy night here so far, but the starting pitching coming out of the All-Star break has been pretty good here for the Crew. Tonight, you should note that Nelson gave up the 2 home runs to Yasmani Tomas, but very error-prone game. Much of what has gone on has been out of the hands of Nelson. Here's Jeanette with a base hit to right. The Scooter hit safely now in 6 straight games.
Yeah, it was a curveball that he was able to hit hard into right field. Actually, first pitch curveball, actually. Pretty good swing on it, head down, and nice level swing. That was actually a 1-0 pitch. And Scooter continues to swing it well, a walk and a hit tonight.
Here's Ryan Braun. Hit the ball hard in the 1st inning, a liner to right. He struck out swinging in the 4th. 3 hits now for the Brewers off Archie Bradley. Braun slaps one over to 3rd. Drury scoops it up, and that'll do it for Milwaukee in the 6th. The single from Jeanette is all they could muster. It's 8-0 Diamondbacks.
Hey, it's 90s night at Miller Park this Saturday, which means it's time to bust out your old starter jacket. What do you mean bust it out? I still wear it all the time. I don't know what they're talking about.
Of course you do.
And practice your 90s dance moves, because there will be a throwback tunes and special features all night long. Visit brewers.com/theme night.
That is very, very well done. Paul Goldschmidt, first pitch swinging and a base hit to center. And that's how the 7th inning begins. Enough of you, Paul Goldschmidt. This is what matters right here. This is what
that's sweet
you can get.
Yep.
That is nice, man. Check it out. There you go. You got little Will Smith, the Brewers Will Smith. Trying to get the actor Will Smith involved, but that's sweet.
I'm not sure what they mean by break out the starter jackets. I mean, have they ever been put away?
No. Apparently not with you.
No,
you got it, right?
I mean, I got a couple of them.
The 90s night expert.
They when I bought it, you know, back in my playing days, fit really good, but a little snug now.
Yeah, a little tight.
Yeah, it's shrunk.
I understand.
Shrunk in the closet.
I hate when those jackets shrink like that. You were looking sharp though, huh?
Yeah, mullet.
Oh yeah. There's Castillo, hits one in the left center field. That's trouble, and that's off the wall. Goldschmidt will be held at third. Castillo on his way to second. And a single and a double is how Arizona begins the 7th inning.
And Mourinho is stretching a little bit, trying to stretch him out to give that Brewers bullpen a bit of a break. They got a day game tomorrow. Brewers don't have an off day until Thursday. Between the San Diego Diamondbacks series on the road, so Greg Counsell is trying to get as much out of Mourinho as he can, to keep that bullpen fresh.
Here's a hot hitter, Yasmani Tomas, not just tonight, but here of late. 12 for his last 40 and 4 home runs in that stretch. And he has gone deep twice here tonight. Now for our AT&T high-speed replay. This is the first inning, an awful inning for the Brewers in the field, and then a 3-run bomb from Tomas. He goes opposite field with a 2-run shot in the 5th inning. 5 RBI night for Yasmani Tomas, the right fielder for Arizona. There's a ground ball charging as Elmore, looking Goldschmidt back, and that is out number 1.
Yeah, think about Tomas, and again, you figure that the Diamondbacks play in a pretty hitter-friendly ballpark, but Tomas has hit 14 of his 17 home runs on the road.
Yeah, and the multi-homer games, he's had 5 of them this year, and they've all been away from home. Multi-homer count for him at 5. He and Mark Trumbo. Trumbo, a 30-homer guy already this season for the Orioles. They both have 5 multi-homer games. 1 out. Runners remain at second and third for Chris Owings. He is grounded to short. He has struck out twice. Jimmy Nelson struck out 7 in 4 2/3 innings. The 8 runs he allowed, 6 were earned. Swing and a miss. Mourinho's finished up that 5th inning, and he's been out there since. Paul Goldschmidt led off the inning with a single to center. Castillo a double to left center. Tomas a ground ball to third. 2-strike pitch. And this is popped up. Carter, foul territory. 2 men out.
It'd be nice for Mourinho to get out of this mess. And 1 out away from doing it. Ground ball, now pop up.
He'll deal with Brandon Drury. 2 of the 11 hits belong to Drury tonight.
Be careful here. You got the pitcher on deck, right? Well, I guess if you're Craig Counts, you're thinking you're down 8-0, just go right after him, get him out.
Exactly what he did, bringing it at 95. Bradley has singled tonight, but
well, these are games that really burn up the Brewers manager. It's one thing to lose, it's one thing to really give the game away in the first inning.
And that's what has happened here tonight. Off the mask there, Luke. 0-2 the count. 5-run first for Arizona. 3 errors in that inning. Kurt Neuenhuis came into the game not committing an error all year. He's had 3 miscues here this evening. 2 from Jonathan Villar. And it was an early 5-run hole. Diamondbacks scored another run in the second. Added 2 in the fifth. Mariñez a strikeout. And that's some pretty good work from Jan Mariñez. Second and third, nobody out. Keeps him off the board. Loyal young fans there at the ballpark.
Yeah, the niece and nephew of our graphics coordinator, Brian Michalogic.
Yes, sir.
I think that's his title. He's got many different titles, but I think that's one of them.
Very, very important guy. The master of knowledge.
Director of golf.
That's right. Jonathan Lucroy, check out the Powerball count. That was over the weekend, Saturday, taking Lackey downtown. 13th homer of the year for Jonathan Lucroy.
Yeah, just been a terrific season for Luke. A good bounce back year, all-star, and catching just about every day.
Looking for his first hit tonight. Director of golf. That's a good title for Pete Nick.
It's good work if you could find it. Yep. Work when you feel like it.
Call your shots. Gets a little salty when it's 8-0, folks. It's just the way it is.
Yeah. Start picking on everybody.
That's right. No one's safe. His niece and nephew are safe.
Right. Oh, of course.
Uncle Brian, not so much. 1-1 pitch. Working that licorice.
Got a pretzel down there somewhere, and
I think so. Yep. They are locked into this at bat from Jonathan Lucroy, though.
I think that's all they get to eat over at the uncle's house too.
Here, have some licorice.
Canned goods, candy, pretzels.
Lucroy to left center field. Owings cannot get it, and it gets by him all the way to the wall. Lucroy, a double. His average right back to 300.
Has hit the ball hard twice tonight. The line out to center in the 4th inning, and now a double out into center field. A fastball from Bradley. Fastball down and in. Lucroy gets enough of it, just out of the reach of Owings out there in center field. A leadoff double. And the 3rd time the Brewers have had their leadoff hitter on.
Yeah, the 1st, the 4th, and now the 7th. The 1st inning had a lot of promise to it. VR led off with a double. Jeanette walked, and then both runners were on the move. Braun lined out to right, turned into a double play. Carter will lift one back into right field. Lots of room for Tomas. He'll make the catch. Lucroy will tag. Here comes the throw, and Lucroy will get 3rd. So 1 out of the fly ball off the bat of Chris Carter. You know, Lucroy's always going to bust it. I mean, he's going to do everything he can in a game that got out of hand early.
It's the only way he knows how to play.
Yeah.
Self-motivator. I mean, doesn't need situations and, you know, team success motivate the way he goes about his business every day. He wears it, you know, this pitching staff. He takes a lot of pride in it.
Well, he's an all-star 2 of the last 3 years. What a battle back he has put on here in 2016 from injuries he dealt with a year ago. Here's Kirk Neuenhuis. Love to see him deliver right here with Lucroy, the runner at 3rd. The score is what it is, but a real tough night for him out of the field. See him get an RBI chance and make the most of it right now.
He's had a good homestand.
Look out. Rounded out the Goldschmidt in the 2nd inning, struck out in the 5th. He's homered 3 times in this homestand. 2 of them coming Saturday against the Cubs. Had 1 more Sunday in the series wrap-up against Chicago. Curve from Bradley misses. Bullpen getting active now for Arizona.
Yeah, Bradley's still not at 100 pitches. He's done a real good job tonight.
Randall Delgado getting loose. Pitch number 96 tonight from Bradley is fouled off. And a nice catch and high fives all around.
Just another reason why you stick around until the end.
That's right. Two balls, 2 strikes. Nice battling. Looking for his 33rd RBI if he can pick up Lucroy, who began this inning with a double. Advanced to 3rd on a fly ball from Carter. The deepest Bradley has gone in a game this year is 7 1/3. That was against San Diego, May 29th. Struck out 9 in that ball game. Followed it with a 10 strikeout performance against the Cubs on June 3rd. He has 6 punch outs tonight. Payoff pitch. Shot just foul. Only 4 hits for the Crew here tonight. Rounded out 11 in a 9-run attack last night. At 12 on Monday, including 4 homers en route to that 7-2 victory in the series opener. Payoff pitch again. And Neuenhuis worked him for a walk.
Yeah, went with a curveball. 8-0 lead, a full count, and you go curveball. Interesting selection. That might spell the end of the night for Archie Bradley. We'll see.
Looks like they're going to, maybe they're going to send out the pitching coach here. It's Mike Butcher. Delgado has been getting loose in the Arizona bullpen.
Well, 3rd walk issued by Bradley, and I think he's done a nice job throwing strikes tonight. I mean, 3 walks. The walks have really been his big issue. Well, he came out in the 1st inning throwing the baseball pretty well. A lot of fastballs. I mean, nothing really big velocity. 93, 94 tops out. But then as the game went on, he started to get a feel for that curveball. And that curveball was a really good pitch from about 4th inning on. And he has pitched a very nice game here tonight. It just continues this stretch of 8 games now where he's been pretty good.
Very impressive. Here's at the plate, presented by Wendy's, the night for Hernan Perez. 1 for 2, a 5th inning single for Perez. Runners at the corners now with 1 out. And Bradley misses. Rookie right-hander Archie Bradley trying to push his way through here in the 7th. Brewers trying to get on the board in this inning. See if the control now starting to show signs of being an issue. He walked Neuenhuis. He is down 2-0 to Perez. Two-0 pitch. He doesn't think so. Fox tracks right on the edge.
Borderline, right? All of them have been fairly close.
Working him downstairs. Bradley with the 2-1. Perez, a fly ball hit back into right field. Tomas at the track and up against the fence will make the catch. Lucroy will tag, and there's the first run of the night for Milwaukee.
There you go. Skunk out of the box here in the 7th inning. Brewers had only one other opportunity to man at 3rd base, less than 2 outs. That was back in the 4th. Not able to play the run. That fastball nearly hit it out. If he hits it, about maybe 3-4 feet to the right, that's a home run. Right there. Might have been a big fly if he hits it more down the line. But it's caught by Tomas, but the Brewers able to put a run on the board.
RBI number 28 for Hernan Perez. Neuenhuis remains the runner at first for Keon Broxton. I have to think it's hard not to press if you're Keon Broxton or any player who goes back and forth between the big league club and AAA. When you get the chance here, I would imagine it's something that almost every player has to battle.
Yeah, well, especially when you're not playing every day and you know that you're going to, if you don't get hits, you might not play the next day. And that's what he's fighting right now. He doesn't have to deal with that down in the minor leagues. Now, granted, the pitching's a lot better in the major leagues, but knowing that you're going to be in there every day, you don't have as much pressure on you in each and every at bat every single day. And that's what he's going through right now. He feels as though he needs to get 2 hits to be able to get into the lineup the next day.
Hitters count right now, and Broxton swings and lifts a fly ball into center field. Room for Owens. And that'll do it for the Brewers in the 7th. But they get on the board, and it's 8-1 moving to the 8th inning. And Jason Whitlock do. The brains to know and the guts to say. Catch Colin and Jason on FS1's new daily sports talk show. Speak for yourself weekdays at 5 p.m. Central. Couple changes here for the Brewers. Kirk Neuenhuis moves from right to center field, and Andy Wilkins now in the lineup out there in rights for Milwaukee. And on the mound, just back up from Colorado Springs, is Michael Blazek.
Yeah, just trying to get back to the form that he had before he went on the disabled list. He was lights out. Went on the DL and really hadn't been able to, get it back. So the Brewers sent him down to try and stretch him out, get some innings, and hopefully he's going to be back better than ever. You can see his numbers: a .587 earned run average. He had some rough outings after coming off the disabled list.
You're right, though. Prior to that, he was really good. Mike Freeman will pinch hit here. The 9th spot. The night is over for Archie Bradley, and a very good night for the rookie pitchers. 7 innings of 4-hit 1-run ball. Freeman, a 28-year-old out of Orlando, Florida. Clemson Tiger. We saw him last night. Back in there as a pinch hitter here tonight, and limited duty. It's what he's done. Good night, though, for Bradley. Pitcher delivered well for Chip Hale's team. Brewers had their way against Arizona pitching in the first 2 games. 7 runs on Monday, 9 last night. Couple of big innings. And both of those Brewer wins. But tonight it's Arizona with the big inning, a 5-run first. A ball, 2 strikes to Freeman. Opportunity here for Blazek to get back into the big league rhythm. A 1-2. That's strike 3 called. Good start for Blazek here in the 8th.
Yeah, the out pitches for Blazek, sliders and curveballs. I mean, those have been devastating pitches for him since he's been with the Brewers. And there's a slider right there that catches the outer half of the plate. Yeah, to catch him looking.
One out for Michael Bourne. Curve drops in there. Bourne's one hit was an infield single in the 4th inning. A couple of ground outs and a strikeout in there as well. Blazek following Jan Marinez on the mound here tonight. Jimmy Nelson went the first 4 2/3.
Yeah, good job by Marinez. I mean, 2 1/3 scoreless. That'll help that bullpen for tomorrow's game.
Marinez worked out of trouble in the 7th. Paul Goldschmidt led off that inning with a single. Castillo a double. They had him at 2nd and 3rd with nobody out, but ground ball, a pop up and a strikeout. Marinez impressive getting out of that inning. There's a ground ball to Scooter Gennett. Out number 2. Eight 8-1 game, but it's important here for Blazek. That confidence back and 3 scoreless outings, AAA.
And just good opportunity for him to get back into the flow here at Miller Park without the game being on the line. So you got to take opportunities as they present themselves, regardless of what the score is. And Craig Counsell doing just that with Blazek.
Phil Gosselin. Hitless from 4 trips. He did reach on that first inning error. 1 of 5 committed by the Brewers here tonight. Oh, 0-2 the count. That's a good looking inning for Michael Blazek as Gosselin strikes out and the D-backs retired in order. And we move to the bottom of the 8th.
Number down in the lower right corner too often. 5 errors for Milwaukee, all coming in the first 2 innings of this game. And we'll hear what Craig Counsell has to say about that. We're assuming that Jonathan Villar benched after that first inning. I'm sure he's going to address that in the postgame. A lot of learning lessons here in the early going for some of these young guys.
It is. Anytime you have a young ball club, and the Brewery is the second young ball club in baseball. So when you look at them, there's going to be some errors and growing pains.
Don't forget, folks, you can go to our Fox Sports Wisconsin Facebook page and check out the Brewers' final pitch powered by Evan Rood. We'll review tonight's game and also get you set for finale coming up tomorrow afternoon and the weekend series as well against Pittsburgh.
All right, Craig, Augie, thank you very much. Look forward to hearing from you again. Brewers Live postgame. Andy Wilkins Leading off here for Milwaukee against Randall Delgado.
Yeah, his number is 45th game for Delgado and a 420 earned run average. You can see 44 strikeouts, 24 walks, and 49 in the third innings. A few too many walks for Delgado.
Yeah, he's been prone to giving up walks a chunk of his career, especially the last 3 seasons. There's a ground ball to Phil Goslin, and 1 up, 1 down in the 8th. Comes in for Archie Bradley. 7 innings, 4 hits, just the 1 run, 3 walks, 6 strikeouts for the Arizona starter. Here's Jake Elmore. On a night where the Brewers defense has committed 5 errors, Elmore had a highlight defensive play, charging a bare hand pick on a chopper off the bat of Paul Goldschmidt. Took a hit away from him. Very nice play from Elmore.
Yeah, he's played center, he's played right, and second base, now third base. Guy that can play just about anywhere. Perfect for a team like the Brewers right now that need guys to be able to play multiple positions.
Yeah, and Elmore did play all 9 positions for the Astros 3 years ago, so he's proven he'll play literally anywhere he is asked.
And that's why he's always one of those guys that's going to pop up in the major leagues. It's happened the last 5 years, each of the last 5 years with 5 different teams. We talk about that because it's so unusual.
Says a lot about persistence, huh? Just teams will let you go, but there's somebody out there who wants you. He's 29 years old. And that is strike 3 called, and that is out number 2 here in the 8th inning.
Hey, the Brewers homestand continues this Friday night as they kick off a weekend series with the Pirates. And all fans in attendance get a Brew Crew bottle cap t-shirt courtesy of Master Printwear. For tickets, go to brewers.com today.
There it is. Get a shirt, watch the Brewers and the Pirates. Talk about teams you're going to see a lot of, and it's already started here post All-Star break. The Cubs and Pirates on that schedule a lot. Pirates finally coming to Miller Park.
Isn't that amazing? I mean, honestly, end of July, they have not been to this ballpark yet this year.
That is amazing.
Brewers have been there twice.
Yeah, mid-April and last week. 2 outs, bases empty, and the 1-0 to Jeanette is hit in the air, shallow left, and that'll be Michael Bourne. And it's a 1-2-3 8th inning for Milwaukee. Move to the 9th, 8-1 Arizona. to the 9th inning. Let's check out Miller Lite's what's on tap. Tomorrow, the series wrap-up. The left-hander Robbie Ray on the mound for Arizona. Zach Davies awfully good here for the Crew. And that continued on Saturday against the Cubs. No television tomorrow. Come on out to the ballpark. Otherwise, check out Bobby Jeff on Brewers Radio. First pitch 1:10 here at Miller Park. Ramon Flores in the game now. He's patrolling things out in left field. Gene Segura. 2-hit night for Segura. Four-hit series so far for the ex-Brewer. Michael Blazek getting his second inning of work, put him down in order in the 8th. Couple of strikeouts and a ground ball. 2-1 pitch. That's it in the air to left field. On the run is Flores, and he'll have to play that off the wall, and it's going to be a 3-hit night for Segura as he has a double to lead off the night.
Yeah, breaking ball that stayed up, and Segura hit it hard. A line drive. 20th double for Segura. He just continues to swing a hot bat. That's that slider that kind of just spun up there, and yeah, Segura able to get the bat head out on it. Nice easy swing, good extension, and a line drive over the head of Ramon Flores.
Here's Goldschmidt. Has 6 hits in the series. You see the 3-hit games. We talked about multi-hits, but more specific now, 3-hit games. Segura leads the pack in the National League. Oh, 1 to Goldschmidt. There's that curveball. Missing to even the count. Single was in the 7th inning for Goldschmidt. Break even pitch, a wave and a miss. The Blazek back up with the big club. Colorado Springs, Jacob Barnes placed on the 15-day DL earlier today. Right elbow soreness for Barnes, who last pitched on Monday night. Actually finished that game at 7-2 Brewers win, a 1-2-3 ninth.
Yeah, the Brewers really like Barnes. I think maybe a precautionary move to keep him, you know, from just keep running himself out there, because you know he didn't want to be on the DL. Didn't want to probably say anything, so you put him on the DL. You force him to take a couple of weeks off, and you hope that's going to be it. But he has been pretty good since he's joined the Brewers this year.
He gets it up there in a hurry, doesn't he? And
he's got a really good breaking pitch. Sometimes you have to protect players from themselves. You know, they're not going to say much, and you know, a little bit of a strain can turn into something pretty serious. And when you have an arm like that, you want to protect it.
Makes perfect sense. 2 balls, 2 strikes to Goldschmidt. Breaking ball is slapped over to Elmore. He'll look the runner back, and that's out number 1. Wellington Castillo, he has a multi-hit game going. He's a part of that 5-run first, had an RBI single. Added a double in the 7th inning, but was left stranded. Leadoff double here in the 9th from Segura. Goldschmidt a ground ball. 1 out and 1 on. Strike to the Arizona catcher.
Seen a number of sliders from Michael Blazek, not too many curveballs. Curveball's always been a good pitch for him.
Here comes the 0-1. And 2 strikes and nothing to Castillo. Pirates have finished off the Mariners 10-1 tonight. A 14-hit attack for Pittsburgh. Cardinals got by the Mets 5-4. Pirates are off tomorrow. We'll be seeing here on Friday night. Andrew McCutchen, a home run in that game. Un-McCutchen-like year overall, but tonight he went 3 for 5 and drove in 4. Cubs lead the White Sox 8-1. They're in the 9th inning at Wrigley Field. And Aroldis Chapman, we talk about deadline deals as the deadline approaches. Of course, the biggest involving the Cubs, getting Aroldis Chapman from the Yankees, and Chapman making his Cubs debut tonight.
Back in the division.
Yeah, great. Swing and a miss from Castillo. Good work from Blazek for out number 2.
8-year-old play tonight?
He did not play today. No.
3 hits away, right?
Yeah.
3,000.
Are correct. They kept him out of the lineup this afternoon. Carlos Stanton homered. The Marlins beat up on the Phillies 11-1. 16 hits for Don Mattingly's team. Here's Yasmani Tomas. He has had a monster night here for the Diamondbacks. Couple of home runs, a 3-run shot in the first, and a 2-run blast in the 5th. Mentioned Chapman, though. I mean, he's obviously lights out, but you think back, what was that, 3 years ago when Lucroy hit a walk-off against him? That was. When teams don't have many moments against a flamethrower like Chapman, you remember when you do. And there's a ground ball to short. Perez is there, and that'll do it. A leadoff double, but nothing more for Arizona. Last call for the Brewers, down 7. Arizona leads the Brewers. Bottom of the 9th we go at Miller Park. Brewers baseball on Fox Sports Wisconsin, presented by Potawatomi Hotel and Casino. Spend the nights with luxury. on final at Wrigley. Cubs finished off the White Sox 8-1. Chapman throwing triple digits. And here's Ramon Flores leading off here in the ninth. Came in a defensive sub for Ryan Braun. Randall Delgado stays out there for his second inning of work. Archie Bradley with the first 7. Delgado retired the side in order in the 8th. Flores with a fly ball, center field. Owings for the first out of the inning. Here's Jonathan Lucroy. Scored the 1 run here for the Brewers tonight. Led off the 7th with a double. Eventually scored on a sac fly from Hernan Perez. The beauty of baseball, a quick turnaround here. We'll see the Brewers back at it tomorrow.
Yeah, Brewers not going to have very long to dwell on this one today. 105 start, right? Is it 105?
105, 110.
110.
But be
right.
here by 105.
Yeah, you got to be.
Yeah. And no television tomorrow. We're back on Fox Sports Wisconsin on Friday night against the Pirates. Lucroy hammers one. That bangs off the chairs and back onto the field. One of those nights. Craig Counsell and anyone who's ever managed has gone through these. I hope you don't have to go through many, but
right.
You'll go through them. 0-2 the count to Lucroy.
And in all honesty, the Brewers haven't had to deal with too many of these types of games. I mean,
right.
I mean, it has been a competitive ball club. They haven't won all the time, but tonight was an aberration. It's not something you see very often. One of the things that Craig Counsell was so much pleased with in the first half was the defense, the improvement in the defense this year.
Lucroy with a fly ball to center. Owings has it tracked. And the Brewers are down to their final out. No, you're right. I mean, you can't sugarcoat a game like this, but you know, just when you talk to fans or media members covering opponents, talk about this Brewers team has given the roster turnover, good young talent, and won the first 2 games of this series, but tonight's just one you want to flush as soon as possible. Here's Chris Carter.
Well, you take something you can learn from, but then very quickly just flush it, get rid of it.
Yep.
Quit thinking about it and go get him tomorrow. That's not something that Craig Counsell can do very easily. Forget about a game like this.
Yep. Carter with a liner to left. Bourne diving for it, and it's a trap as Carter is on. Bourne trying to make a diving catch to end it, but unable to do so. So Carter is aboard. That's hit number 5 for the Brewers.
It's kind of a struggle for him out there tonight. That's unusual. It really is. I mean, boy, when he was with the Astros, I mean, he was one of the best defenders. You can see how he freezes. And by that time, a little bit too late. He misjudged one over his head in the first inning and wasn't able to get a good jump on this one in front of him.
It's a 2-time Gold Glover you're looking at there, but it's been an adventure at times for him. Here's Kirk Neuenhuis. Walked his last trip, 0 for 2. There's a fly ball back into left field. Bourne will have room. And this one is over. It started poorly and never got any better tonight for the Brewers. Archie Bradley, though, very good pitching performance. Yasmani Tomas, a couple of home runs. He drove in 5. And the Brewers will move on as the Diamondbacks win it 8-1.
And pretty impressive outing for Archie Bradley, in all honesty. We heard that he had some pretty good stuff. He showed that, and it was the Yasmani Tomas show tonight. A couple of home runs, 5 RBIs. That's all they needed tonight.
And the Brewers move on. These teams will wrap up the series tomorrow afternoon. 8-1, Arizona is a winner. Let's send it down to Craig Deshawn for Brewers Live postgame.
Okay, Matt, great job with Rock here tonight. Tough one as the Diamondbacks use all those errors in the first 2 innings against Milwaukee and build their lead. Hang on. We're going to hear from Craig Counsell. He'll have plenty to say about this one next on Brewers Live.